Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your hosts E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham.
And hello, everybody out in Tomball, Texas. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 88. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by BatmanOnFilm.com. Make sure you check out all the other great shows on the network by heading on over to BOF, clicking that drop down, and picking from the utter buffet of podcasts that you should be listening to, because there's just a bunch of great shows hosted by a bunch of great hosts discussing all the topics that you love. For some reason, Ryan Lauer likes to say we frolic around in this space and area, but I think that sounds ridiculous. So just take that from Lauer. I'm your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River. I'm a senior contributor to Batman on Film. I am Peter R. Vera. Today we're recording on August 27th, 2022. And as always, I have a great show for you today. But before we get into good stuff, I'd like to remind you, all of our faithful listeners, if you take the time to rate and review this show on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts, and we read your review on air, you have won a special prize pack. We do this every month, so you got to be in it to win it. And just, you know, if you want to clown us. If you did a good job, we'll read it. If you want to say something sincere and nice, we'll read that too. But you can't get a prize pack unless you write something. So we all know you guys like to write reviews of movies. So how about doing a review of this podcast? Now, let me introduce you to my partner in crime, the man who won the 1979 Robert Moses International Jigsaw Puzzle Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, our junior Batman on Film contributor, Eric Guzman.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Hello. So yes, I was in the toddler division for that thing. That jigsaw.
What was your puzzle?
It was like 12 pieces total, but you're a toddler, so you have to put it together.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that difficult.
Well, what was the puzzle? What was it a puzzle of?
Mickey Mouse. It was a Mickey Mouse puzzle.
Oh, look at you. Classic.
I was a very big Mickey Mouse fan as a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's weird. Like I started with Disney, then I went to when I got a little older, I started to like WB stuff like Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a little older, and then obviously I started getting into superheroes and Star Wars and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought it was weird. Now, things come full circle because I like Disney stuff again. Even though Star Wars started out not Disney, but now it is. I don't know. That's stupid. Whatever. I'm just speaking right now. And
Yeah.
Rambling. But
that's what old men do. That's what old men do.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So how are you, Pete?
I'm good. How are you? What have you been up to?
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Getting it in? What's going on?
I'm doing a seance thing right now. No, I'm only kidding.
Really? So a little Zatanna action going on. Okay.
No, I've yesterday actually, first time all summer I went to the beach.
You look a little red.
Yeah, I put sunblock on, but not enough, I guess, towards the tops of my head because as my hairline recedes, I don't remember I have to go a little higher with the sunblock.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little bit of summer. But of course, we haven't had a lot of rain here this summer. And of course, true. Yesterday, I go to the beach and an hour and a half after I'm there, we get a downpour. It starts pouring rain.
Really? Got no rain here in Jersey.
Yep. We got thunderstorms and everything. It was crazy.
It's crazy what 40 miles can do for your weather report.
Yeah. It probably is more like that because I'm on the South Shore. So
yeah,
directly, you're right. It's probably about 40 miles away from where you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but yeah, so I got to do that, which was cool. At least I got to go to the beach, finally get there this summer. And then, yeah, I mean, I've just been,
so what do you do? You pack a towel, you pack a chair, an umbrella. What is the Holzman Beach extravaganza like?
I have one of those chairs that fold in and out when you sit on them, and then they expand and get bigger. So I take that with me. Yeah,
did you do this by yourself, or did you bring Sally Testerberger?
No, yesterday I went by myself.
Okay.
I was just like, no, I'm going because people were working and stuff. I usually finish work by 11 in the morning, just because of the way things are set up for my job. So after that, I just go. I have free time to do whatever I want. So that's what I decided to do yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it was nice. I got a
Read
little
a book?
sandwich. I got a little sandwich.
Oh, sandwich, huh? What'd you get, a little
Yes.
sandwich?
I got they call it the Kevwich, the place I went to, but it's just roast beef, mozzarella, and on garlic bread. That's it.
That sounds delicious.
It was fantastic.
No onions, huh?
No, they don't put onions on it.
You think sauteed onions would go good on that?
It probably would.
Probably.
Yeah, but that's what I had.
It sounds delicious, though.
Bring your little sandwich. You sit at the beach. Then I try to avoid the seagulls because they suck. And then,
Is this a nude beach?
no.
I thought you only went to
I
nude
don't
beach.
go to those types of beaches.
Well, you don't want to embarrass all the other guys. So
of course, I like to let them feel confident.
Like, why is that? Oh, that's not a leg. Oh, that's the coli.
Hey, what are you gonna do? We all have our things. We all have our blessings.
He puts the schlong in Long Island.
That's for sure, no doubt. Yeah, we all have our things. Like we all have our blessings.
Yeah.
Like Dirk Diggler said.
Big
This is
bright
my
star.
thing.
Are you a big shining star?
This is my one thing in life. That's what he said. So
Okay,
we all have our things.
That's what you need to know about Eric Holzman. One, he's probably the pickiest when it comes to women, and two, he's
no
hung
doubt.
like a whale.
I am the picky. That's for sure. I'm very picky. What about you, man? What have you been up to? I know work.
I put together. I bought a new smoker yesterday. I put that together, so that's what I did.
All right, and will you be smoking meats today in said smoker?
Not today. I just seasoned it, so I burned it all. I burned off, I guess, all the excess garbage or whatever. I did it last night, and I have to go to the butcher and buy something to do smoke in there. So
when are you gonna get?
I would like to smoke. Ideally, I want to do like a whole pig. That's why I bought a horizontal smoker because I want to smoke a whole pig.
Whoa!
But yeah, I just need people over to do that. I can't do that by myself. That's a lot of meat.
Pete's gonna have a pig roast.
I'm gonna have a pig roast soon, and but ideally, so Garrett's not gonna be there because he's a vegan weirdo.
Totally not.
But I think I'm gonna start with a brisket, and then I'll,
What about no Italian meats? We're not gonna be doing have you ever smoked a pepperoni or something? That sounds like it'd be good.
Yeah, I've smoked sausages and just other meats in general, but that's for the vertical one. It's just easier to get in there, and this is horizontal, so the lid opens on the top, so it's just easier for me to work on the brisket and the ribs and stuff.
Is it a Traeger?
No, Traegers are too expensive, and they do all the
Traeger.
work for you. That's lazy man's cooking. Let me spend $700 on this machine that'll do everything for me, so I don't have to worry about anything.
What's the other one I like? Oh, the egg.
That's
green
cool.
egg grill.
Everyone likes the green egg.
Yeah,
that's a good one too.
That's what I like.
Yeah, but, I only spent $200 at Home Depot, so I didn't break the bank.
All right.
Yeah, Traegers are $600.
Yeah, no, I've priced them, but I haven't bought one yet. But I have priced them.
I'm not going to do that. It does all the work for you. There's no fun in that.
Well,
you don't learn how to control temperature and charcoal or wood. All that that's the fun part.
It's convenient. That's it.
Yeah, it's for lazy. It's for people who are lazy cooks like Rick Shue. Set it and forget it.
Yo, did you ever have one of those things? The New Wave ovens?
I've never had one of those. I remember the infomercials.
The New Wave?
You just set it and forget it. You just put it here, you put it here, you put it there, you put it in the oven, and there you go. Set it and forget it.
Yeah, I never
did it. It's lazy man's cooking. It's the Rick Shue way to do it, because then he's got to entertain all his snobby guests he invited over his house. He wouldn't invite his real friends. Like that time I went to Texas to see Wonder Woman, and he didn't invite me over for a steak, but for some reason Justin got the 4-course meal. You got to watch. You were there.
I basically got to sit next to Justin and watch him eat his 4-course meal.
Rick didn't even have enough food for you. He didn't even think you were good enough to make a steak, much less his famous mashed potatoes.
If I remember correctly, though, he didn't know me that well at that point, and two, he didn't even he didn't know I was coming till the day before. And then he actually called me on the phone. So that was my first experience with Shue and you, actually. That's the first time I met you.
Yeah.
So, which is crazy. We live not that far away, but the first time I meet you was in Texas.
So Rick did something right.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we've had a lot of news come in since we haven't recorded in a little while, guys. We took
it's been a week.
Break. Yeah, it's been a little more than a week. Been about 10 days since we recorded, but it's fine. We're back, and a lot's happened. This is going to be a very Warner Brothers heavy show, because that's where most of the news has actually happened. So first, though, I want to start out with a little bit of not personal news, but something that I caught, I think it was 2 days ago, and I retweeted out to people who are, for people who are closer to my age or who like the show, Beverly Hills 90210, the guy who played Nat, Joe E. Tata or Tata, I don't know how to say the last name.
No clue.
But he passed away. And for all of the 90210 fans out there like myself who used to watch that show, pretty sad to hear that news. Nat was kind of their father figure outside of their own families. So he was kind of that guy. He owned the Peach Pit, which is where they all hung out.
You're showing your age.
So I am.
I don't remember this. I have no idea.
I am.
I didn't watch 90210. I was too young.
Yes, it's a little past, a little before your time. But it was a big part of my teenage years, because that's when the show came on, 1992, I think it started.
That show was huge, wasn't it?
So, yeah, it was a big show. It was one of the first Fox shows that kind of blew up. It was one of the first ones.
It was still running pretty successfully when I kind of grew up. I just,
yeah.
By the time I was old enough to probably watch it, I didn't, because it was like, I don't know, 10 seasons in. And
then there was Melrose Place, which was
I actually watched that as a young kid.
Yeah, that was technically a spin-off from 90210. Technically,
who was the blonde Heather Locklear?
Heather Locklear.
I was in love with her.
Yes, most people were. But yeah, that's the genesis of it. So I just wanted to put that out there for older people who listen to the show like myself. Pretty sad news, and it's another reminder that we are getting old. We're getting old when these things happen. So rest in peace to Nat.
But we live on through the young people in our lives, like Hasbulla, who's only 19 and just getting started. So there's one, and now we have another.
Speaking of Hasbulla, I sent you the video this morning. Did you the one who? And then I saw you put it on Instagram.
Yeah, I did.
When he's punching Shaq.
Shaq don't want to deal with that. He don't want that smoke. Eric Holzman turn.
I will say, I mean, he's a cute little guy. I know, he is.
He's a 19-year-old man.
I know, but I'm saying, I'm sorry. He looks like he's a little person. He's a cute little guy. He is.
That's a little offensive.
So, no, little person is not offensive.
He's not a little person, though.
If I called him the other thing, then it would be offensive.
Well, neither of those are offensive.
So, but
the woke police just came for Eric.
No. Yeah, that was a funny little thing. It's weird. Anytime I see anything now having to do with Hezbollah,
Isn't he amazing? You see him so much now that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been watching him for years and didn't notice. Thank God.
I see him because of you.
You sent it to me, not because of me, but because Hezbollah pops up everywhere.
No, because of you. That's why I sent it to you. Like, I would not have cared about it if I knew you weren't into this guy.
He's amazing.
So
how many people get to punch Shaq and they laugh about it?
Well, that's the funny thing. He does it, and then he has this little smile on his face.
I wonder what it's like to get punched in the face by Hezbollah.
Well, maybe we can make that happen,
because he does it an awful lot, and it doesn't look like he holds back either. But it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of force. Like, have you ever been punched by, like, I don't know, a 5-year-old? What's that like? I've
been punched many times by 5-year-olds, by toddlers. Yes,
in the face. And what's that like?
Happens. It's
a
shock.
As long as your glasses aren't on, you're fine.
It's a shock. It doesn't hurt. You're just like, oh damn, where the hell did that come from? Because most of the time they're just swinging their arms because they're mad or upset or something that happened or something that you did. So. Yeah, that was cool though. It was a cool little video.
He's amazing. He makes a bunch of amazing little videos.
And Shaq is such a cool guy. Like
I wish I understood Russian so I knew what he was actually saying.
I know. Well, one guy we do understand what he's saying. We're gonna start. We'll just start with this right away. We'll jump right into this news because we've talked about it so much. There's another little bit of the Ezra Miller story now. There's another layer I know last time we told you that he, I believe the last show we did include the story that he had made a statement saying he's going to get
Ezra's
help.
like onions, which makes him like an ogre. He has layers.
Yes. So he said he was going to get help, and apparently he went a step further and he met with the leadership of Warner Brothers, Mike DeLuca and of this film division. So Mike DeLuca and Pamela Abdy. He met with them to quell their concerns, to tell them that he's definitely going to do the right thing. He's really serious about getting help. So it appears, whether it's by him realizing, oh crap, I'm going to lose my career if I don't do this, or really just him realizing, damn, I really need help.
Who called this meeting? Was it them or him?
He did.
He did.
Yes.
So I imagine he understands that the studio is in between a rock and a hard place, because apparently this movie is testing bonkers.
Yes.
Good. It's I know we hear this all the time, but apparently it's the best movie since The Dark Knight. So take that for what you will. But apparently this movie's been testing really well, and people are very hyped for it. And cancellation is completely out of the question. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that little news that they leaked that they might cancel it probably caught his attention. And that's why he was like, crap, I better do something about it. Because apparently he really loves the character and he loves playing the Flash.
Well, if he wants to keep his job, keep his head on straight.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to that. Yeah. So that's good news. I mean, it kind of bolsters the fact, too, of what we said last time, that he is probably going to get the help he needs now. And they can push forward with a real campaign, promotional campaign. And I'm assuming if he does all the right things, he will be involved in it now, and he could talk to what he was going through and show it as a redemptive arc, because as we all know, people love a comeback story. So
yeah, the Joker said it.
Yes. So it looks like we're going to get that comeback story. So good for Ezra, and I'm glad now we can kind of look forward again to the Flash.
Can we? Have you seen all the idiots on Twitter and all the dumb things they're saying about this movie? Can we enjoy this movie? Can I wait till it comes out?
I can. I don't know about everybody else, but I know I certainly can look forward to it. I have been looking forward to it since 2007? When was the first time you heard about it?
I don't know, when David Goyer started writing just treatment for the first version of this movie.
I know, right? So it's been a long time coming, and through 80,000 directors, and I mean, we're finally it's finished, at least we know, and it looks like it's going to happen next year as scheduled. But a couple of things that were scheduled are now being shifted. So we also got news this week that Aquaman has been pushed back 8 months, from March 17th, 2023 to December 25th, Christmas, 2023. That's the first one. And then Shazam, which was supposed to come out at the end of this year, will be moving to the Aquaman's March 17th spot. So apparently, and this is the reason why we know that Black Adam got pushed back as well, there's still a lot of visual effects stuff that needs to be done, and they're afraid they're not going to have it done on time. So they're going to that's why they're making these release date changes. They also a bunch of other changes. Salem's Lot, which was supposed to come out, has been removed from April 21st. House Party Redux from December 9th, 2022.
That thing must be horrible.
For December. That's coming out, December 2022. Evil Dead Rise is coming out April 21st, 2023. And The Nun 2 will be next September 8th.
I'm excited for that one, even though the first one wasn't that great.
Yeah, so
this is just a bit of a bummer. Like, it's still coming out. We're not in a Batgirl situation where things are canceled and we'll never see it. So that's right. That part stinks. But this is a bummer. But like, what do you want me to do? Like, do you want a Justice League where the CGI is all half-assed and not good looking and miserable? Because then, if anything, I feel like that's the thing we talk about. That's one of the things we talk about the most when it comes to that version of the movie, like how bad it looks CGI. True. So if I could avoid that, I'll take it. But it's kind of crazy how, Warner Brothers is just backed up digitally, and, it's just taking forever with these special effects houses. Part of me is like, is this what's going on with Green Lantern? Like, they're like, let's not even attempt this. We can't even get the underwater movie right now. We're not doing the outer space stuff, because, these special effects heavy movies. But then again, like, I don't know how, it makes me wonder how special effects heavy Shazam is. The first one didn't seem like it had that many, right? It seemed pretty practical for the most part, except for maybe a couple of the villain fights and stuff. But it seemed for the most part to be pretty practical.
Yeah, the villain stuff was probably the most
the
CGI.
gods. It's that boardroom scene and everything.
Yeah.
But even though, like, when we see everything go down, it's through that fogged glass, so it's kind of open for interpretation. So we'll see what happens with that. But like Aquaman, I get it, and Black Adam, I kind of do, because there's so many super powered beings. But then again, you look at Shazam, you're like, yeah, because the kids, they're all super powered. So
right,
I'm sure there's a lot of special effects in that. I do realize that Warner Brothers does not care about the age of these children. Not one bit, because this movie keeps getting pushed back,
it's true.
which means they're getting nothing but older and older and older. And the only one this works out for is Mary, considering she's the only one who plays both roles. So,
well, I mean, at least it's coming. It's not getting pushed back that far. It's just a few months, just 3 more months. So that's not too terrible. But Aquaman, yeah, I mean, Aquaman, that's a long time. So.
Yeah, and you just got to remember, like, where this movie takes place. I imagine this movie probably takes place mostly underwater. The first movie had some underwater stuff, but I felt like it was pretty 50-50. Maybe this is more underwater than we thought we were getting into. You know, you had the part with Arthur and his father up on the mainland. They were in the desert for a long period of time. They went to Italy for a while. You know, so the ending was pretty much all in water and some of the Atlantis
my
stuff.
favorite scene in the bar with the bikers. That's my favorite scene of the movie. That was fantastic.
That's good too. Yeah, that's not underwater. So
right.
Maybe there's just more underwater filming. And like I said, you know, Juan and Pony Smasher, David Sandberg have seemed really supportive of this. You know, that could be company talk, it could not be. But, you know, as a director, you feel like, oh, look, they're giving me the time to finish this and make it look good. I appreciate that. You know, it's kind of like the anti-David Ayer effect. Like David Ayer had like 2 weeks to write Suicide Squad. And then they cut up his movie, whereas now they're like, all right, we're going to give you as much time as you need. So I think it's a good thing, to be honest with you. But people are all up in arms because every time Warner Brothers is in the news, everyone wants to have a heart attack.
Yeah, I mean, there's also news was also came out that it's possible that they don't actually have the money to do more than the 2 releases that they have this year, which is the new movie, I'm forgetting the name, with Florence Pugh and Harry Styles. Don't Worry, Darling, that's what it's called. And then Black Adam. Apparently, those are the only 2 Warner Brothers movies that are coming out.
That's more scary to me than delays because of special effects.
So, yeah. No, I'm like just
Warner
saying.
Warner Brothers kind of being broke. That's kind of like a big deal.
Yeah, that you're right. That's a bigger piece of news.
But it also does fit in with everything we've been hearing about Zaslav. Yes. Like his entire mission is basically cost-cutting budgeting. And if Warner Brothers is broke, then we know, you know, clearly whoever's been running Warner Brothers on the financial side did a horrible job.
It kind of proves that Killar's day and date full year slate idea was terrible. Because
I still don't think it was terrible because of the time we were living. I think it probably went on a little bit too longer than it should have. But I think at the height of COVID, I thought it was the right thing to do.
Well, it was a whole year though of limited theatrical release.
Yeah.
So you're not getting the payback that you'd normally be getting in a normal year without a pandemic. So I agree with you from a fan side. It was great because we got these things regardless. And if you wanted to watch it from home, you can. But from the business side, if I'm a business person, it was a terrible decision.
You think so? I still don't know what other decision they had. Other than to just wait, because every time they delay something, everyone just freaks out anyway. So I don't know what the problem is, or the answer is.
I think the tentpole films, the bigger films, they probably should have held back, and then just for theatrical release, and then the smaller films they could have released. That's my opinion, but I don't know. But anyway, guys, that's just a little bit of the news coming. Apparently, they also have they're having a slew of holiday release dates for straight to streaming movies for HBO Max. So A Christmas Story Christmas, that's what it's called, will hit on November 17th of this year, followed by Holiday, and A Christmas Mystery on November 24th, and A Hollywood Christmas on December 1st. So if you guys love holiday movies, you have other options outside of the Hallmark Channel and Lifetime. You can watch them on HBO Max as well.
Yeah,
we have some new ones coming out.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, you have some new ones coming out. All right, so sticking with DC, we have reported here on a couple of shows that they've been looking for their own Kevin Feige. Well, news came out that producer Dan Lin is the frontrunner to take control of the DC Films division for the TV, for the superhero arm of the TV slate as well. This kind of coincides with another piece of news that I'll just throw into here as well, and we could talk about it all at once. But the Batman the Caped Crusader animated series is also being removed from HBO Max and apparently being shopped around to other streaming services. Apparently Netflix is in the lead, if I read recently. But Pete, before we get into the deeper dive deep into this, what do you think of the Dan Lin news?
Sure, it sounds good. He seems to have a good resume. He seems to have a good background.
Keep talking.
He was part of the Justice League Mortal, production. And if you listen to him on a couple podcasts, that's kind of a big void in his life where that he didn't get to do it. He mentions that, obviously he wouldn't have got the chance to do all these other great movies he did. He's been a part of some fantastic productions, Lego Batman, Lego Movie. So if you look at his IMDb, it's pretty impressive. I'm glad they have someone who seems to have knowledge of these characters. It stinks because I think Hamada did a pretty good job. I think he kind of gets the short end of the stick here. We all know the obvious idiots who would harass him on Twitter and stuff because they follow their cult leaders. But this whole Dan Lin thing, it's interesting. I don't know too much about the guy. I hope he does magic. I hope it works. I hope this is his shot at redemption. If this is something he wants to do, and it seems like he's the right guy for it, but we got to see what he comes up with. I thought Hamada was doing fine. I wasn't a big proponent of his old Batman, Nick Fury Batman universe, but we still haven't even seen what that would have been. So we have no idea, and I think that plan is scrapped to begin with. So they'll start fresh or whatever. But I got nothing negative to say about the guy. I mean, he also called Zaddy's bots, so I thought that was great. So it seems like he's a normal person, not some weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, he's apparently Alan Horn's apparently a big fan of him.
That's why I feel like this is a more done deal. Alan Horn's championing this guy. It reached out to the trades. It's like one of those. It's like so and so is in talks to be in this movie. That usually means that they've already signed the deal.
Yep. And I mean, he's worked with Sherlock Holmes, the Lego films. Mm-hmm. He's worked on a lot of the bigger.
His resume is very impressive.
Yeah. So,
and like I said, he was a part of the production team, the producers who were putting together Justice League Mortal. So
yeah,
this is he's fulfilling a dream. This is something on his plate that he thought he'd never get a chance to do, and it's like I remember that on the podcast that I've mentioned a few times. He was like, and I've said this earlier. His wife was like, "Yeah, but if you got the DC gig, you never would have done all this stuff." And that's how life goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And full circle, he's coming back. So we'll see. We'll see what he's got up his sleeve. But it's okay. You got your guy. Now let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he has an impressive resume. He's worked in a lot of different IPs, a lot of different projects. So it's very, very cool to bring someone like that in. He, like you said, he had the Justice League Immortal. Who's involved in that. So it definitely seems like he's a guy who has love for the IP and probably would do a really good job overseeing it. That's the important thing. If you're looking for someone to do what Kevin Feige does, someone like who knows the material, who has has a passion for it, and who's worked with it in the past. So it very much seems like this is a good decision. I kind of feel bad for Hamada. I feel like he got the raw deal here, especially since he did such a good job kind of righting the ship and course correcting. I definitely do feel like he's getting the short end of the stick here, but that's business.
Yeah, but it's kind of like sports, though. You get a new owner, you get a new GM, and what's he do?
Exactly.
He brings in his own coaching staff. He'll bring in his own players. So things like that. The writing was on the wall. You just kind of hope that you make the cut. And
Yeah, I mean, they did leave it open for him to stay, right? They've been.
But he probably
consistent.
wants to go too. I mean, after the whole Batgirl situation, he's probably not happy.
Right. So that's the state of the DC Kevin Feige search,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. So
so I just can't wait for everyone to harass Mr. Lin about the plan, because now they're starting to get anxious. They don't know what the plan is. They know they have a plan. They just don't know it yet. We knew about Hamada's plan, but no one wanted to admit it.
Yes. So I don't know, but it's good news. It's progress. It's getting to the point of stability now with the new company. Of course, there are a lot of things that Warner Brothers Discovery is doing that we're still not happy about. Of course, I mentioned Batman Cape Crusader. That is something that I think a lot of people are upset about. A little shocking too, because it is the Matt Reeves. It's a Matt Reeves production. Like, he's involved in the production.
Yeah, we just don't know how much.
Right. So it's a little shocking, but I mean, these things happen. It's not. I remember when the news first came out, everyone's like, "Oh, they're canceling it." No, they're not canceling it, guys. It's
People
still.
Didn't read the article.
Yep. And I think I even tweeted that. I'm like, you guys, the headline was terrible. Totally admit it, because it said it got axed, which makes you immediately think it's getting canceled. But if you actually read the article, that's not what it says at all. It just says it's not going to.
It's a bit of a bummer, because a show like that could possibly become the gateway for younger fans, and it depends on where it gets picked up too, right? Like, Batman the Animated Series was one of the things that molded me into the Batman fan that I am today. That in '89. So something like that strikes the younger generation, who then falls in love with the character and then takes it on with them for the rest of their life. So it's a bummer in that aspect. It's a little weird, because I thought from the investors meeting or whatever it is, Zaslav said he wanted everything under one umbrella, one house, and now it seems like he's backtracking on that. They want to shop this to different networks. If they think, if I don't know if that's a temporary fix, because their claims of Warner Brothers being broke, if they're just going to shop all these animated things around to try to make some money for a few years, maybe that's what their plan is, to try to make a quick buck. But it is just unusual, because I thought he said he wanted to keep everything under one roof, one umbrella. So, sending characters like Batman and Bugs Bunny to Netflix or Amazon or Apple is interesting. And it's not like this isn't done before. Sandman is a Warner Brothers production. I believe it's just on Netflix.
Yes, it is.
There are TV shows that do that. You watch more TV than I do. So it's not.
Sandman is so good. You really need to watch it.
I haven't watched it yet. I got to catch up on She-Hulk. I'm an episode behind She-Hulk and 2 episodes behind the Harley. But it's just again, it's not canceled. It's coming. We'll see it. Hopefully it's good and it gets a second season. And who knows? Maybe again, like I said, maybe this is just a thing for money, because they're hurting for cash right now.
Yeah, you're right.
And what's the best way for you to get money? Batman. That's it.
And again, to have it, to sell it to another network, to another streaming service that has, makes it more of an event, because you don't have other options, so you only have one cartoon.
My thing is, like, I don't understand how people can get so attached to a project they know nothing about. All we got was a poster and a couple producers' names, and we know nothing else about this show. And people are acting like they canceled a 10-year run here.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little weird to me how people today get so attached. Even like Batgirl, like everyone was like, I was like, as a member of BatmanOnFilm.com and a person who watches everything Bat related, including Batwoman, like I was just kind of like, oh wow, that stinks. But I moved on really quickly, because I was like, for me, it was always about Keaton, and it's just he was only in the movie for like 5 scenes, and it's like, all right, whatever. I'll never see it, but like, it's okay. I've never seen a trailer either. I got that one publicity photo of her, and that was it. So it's like I can't get attached to this movie just yet.
It was, I think, with Batgirl, it's just more of a cumulative effect with everything that's been going on. So they've been in such turmoil for such a long time now that it's just another shot, right? That's how people look at it. It's just another punch to the gut or kick to the balls, for lack of a better term.
Well, I'm glad I don't take this stuff as personally as most people then, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. Like, I was upset about Batgirl more because of, like, I look at it from the creative side, and I just get upset that these people who work so much did all this.
I agree. It's not a good look. It's not a good look at all.
So that, from that point of view, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and yeah, you have your initial reaction, and then you kind of, your cooler head should prevail eventually. And you're like, yeah, well, everything that they're saying, it kind of makes sense. So
10 years ago, I probably would have rage treated like an idiot.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, probably would have happened. Maybe because I'm becoming an old man like you. Like, I've mellowed out in my years. But it's like, I don't know, like, this is like the equivalent. Batgirl getting canceled is like the Yankees losing in like the division series. Like, I don't want it. It's embarrassing, but like, okay, all right.
Well, apparently, they are doing the people who worked on Batgirl solid by screening it for them on the Warner Brothers lot.
Which is even like, I was like, why are you? This funeral screening is almost more offensive than canceling the movie. Like, here's what you worked hard for. No one will ever see it, asshole. Like,
well, maybe they just want. Maybe they feel like at least give them a chance to see what their work product was in full. Right? Like,
what do you do? Like, do you go? Do you not go out of spite? Like, do you like, screw you up your ass?
I personally, for me, since I'm someone who doesn't like listening to myself or watching myself, I probably wouldn't go. But
I got to think I wouldn't go, to be honest with you.
But if I had put work on this every day of my life for a certain amount of time, and I was proud with what I did, it might be nice to see that was finished. So
I don't know, because it's like, you don't want to burn a bridge. Like, I know Warner Brothers is in turmoil right now, but like, you kind of, it's kind of nice to knowing that Warner Brothers would want possibly work for you or want to work with you at some point, you know, like
that. Yeah, I mean, you're right. But I think that's kind of what this is too. Like, I think they're kind of extending an olive branch. You're like, hey, look at it, give it see what it was, at least.
Because even the director said the movie's not finished. They said they had to do reshoots. There's no special effects. It's not, they did compare it to the Snyder Cut, which makes sense because that movie wasn't finished either. We knew Zack shot it, and it was probably, like, there had to be reshoots and everything. So it's just, it's a bummer for them, especially being such young guys, like, it's at the start of their career to have something like this happen is a bummer. But I don't know, this whole funeral thing, everything involving Batgirl since cancellation has just got weirder and weirder. You're
right. I mean, we heard that there was a little bit of a story that they trashed it already, that didn't even exist anymore.
Well, there's the hopes. Here's the thing, and this is, I don't think there's a thing where they say Warner Brothers will trash it and then provide that evidence to the IRS showing that they cannot make any revenues about this thing going forward. Or there is the possibility, maybe 10, 15 years down the line, that Warner Brothers repays the taxes on the film and then they can release it. I read that in a trade, so that's not some idiot blogger that you guys love to hate on. I read that from an actual trade report. So maybe I think that's a possibility, right, to be honest with you, down the line. But then again, when you hear the directors talk about the movie and say they need reshoots, they need special effects, like, I don't know if it is that possible then, because it's like, well, if the movie's not entirely shot in 15 years, what does Michael Keaton look like? What does Leslie Grace? There's that. Uh-huh. So, the more I think about it and the more I say it out loud, this movie's probably just scrapped,
Yeah. I mean, I hope we get to see it again. I want to see all this stuff, but I kind of tend to agree with you there. If it still needs work done on it, then, I don't want to see it half-ass version of it. I want to see what the original intent was for the film. So if they're going to do that, then yeah, don't even bother. I do think it is messed up though that Warner Brothers can just trash it and throw it away and get rid of it. I do think that's a little messed up.
I mean, they own it. They can do what they want.
You're right. They own it. You're 100% correct. That's part of the game. They own it. They're allowed to do whatever they want with it. But it does suck. I'll say that. I'll say this though, and this goes out to everyone: back up your work,
because you don't know who's pulling the plug. Back up your work.
Yeah, I got into a Twitter exchange with people about that. When this came out, we had a little Twitter exchange with people about that evolved into why you should back up your work.
Yeah.
So that's very good advice. Make sure you guys back up your work. One guy who will not need to back up his work, even though he probably should anyway, and to continue at Warner Brothers, is Matt Reeves, who he's mentioned a few times. He is going to be the first filmmaker to get a first look film deal under the new CEO chairs, Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy. So everyone who was concerned about the Matt Reeves wing for a little while there, fear not. He's not going anywhere.
If you've been paying attention to my Twitter feed all month, I've been telling you not to worry about the Penguin.
Yeah, I think everyone we kind of said it, because when they had the investors call, that wasn't the thing. That was never rumored. Nothing like that was ever mentioned that it wasn't going forward. So I kind of knew this day was coming. I didn't know that he'd get an exclusive film deal, which is great for him. He also had one apparently at Netflix. So,
well, you got to replace Nolan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, J.J. Abrams still has his deal, but I don't know what's going on with that.
Has he produced anything?
Well, he wanted to make that Demande, but apparently the budget was like $200 million, so they scrapped it.
Great, so he's done nothing.
So he's in. But it's weird though. He's involved in the Batman Cape Crusader cartoon. He's involved in that as well. He's one of the producers on that show. So it's just weird that it seems every which way you turn, J.J. Abrams is getting screwed by Warner Brothers in some way or form. But
I imagine he's still getting paid, so he's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying from a creative standpoint. But yeah, also guys, fear not about Batman 2. The Batman 2, sorry. He will be Reeves is working on the sequel and co-writing with Matt and Tomlin. So that was also a bit of good news that came out, and Robert Pattinson also will be back playing Bruce Wayne Batman. So all of this is good news, especially for people who like the Batman, who want to see more from Matt Reeves' Batman universe. It's not going anywhere, guys. The Arkham series is
I'm
still
pumped about Tomlin because he wrote a really great comic book, Batman the Imposter, that could possibly take place in the Reeves verse. He helped Reeves write the Batman, but he didn't get a credit for it, unfortunately, for whatever reason. So I'm happy he's finally going to get his credit and get his due, because I think this guy has a real pulse. He's got his finger on the pulse for Batman. And I think this is great. And just the two of them together, it's just wonderful news for all Bat fans. So don't worry about this stuff. We all knew Pattinson was coming back. We all know Pattinson will hang up the cowl in about 15 years. We all know, 15, 20 years. We all know that'll happen, because that clickbait was going around for a while. Robert Pattinson will leave Batman after the trilogy. Like, yeah, okay, thanks. We knew that already. Appreciate that. Thanks. Typical,
yes,
Screen Rant article. But it's all good in the Batman world. It's funny. I know I said this in the BOF Facebook group. I was like, to be honest, as long as the Batman's fine, the rest of this thing can burn to the ground.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe you on that one.
It's fine as long as I got Batman movies, dude. I'm honestly good. Like I personally, I'd love to see Green Lantern movie. It's not like it'd be fun, but it's like I'm not gonna live and die by it. Like, you give me a good Batman trailer. This Flash movie might be comparable to a Batman movie for me, because of Keaton, obviously. But we'll see.
Yes, it was just a good bit of news, I thought, to put out there and for the studio to make, to kind of give people good news instead of bad. That just seems like bad news has been coming from them for a while now. Getting a little bit of piece of good news as like someone like Matt Reeves, who's going to be staying there, and it's another sign that the studio is trying to show filmmakers like, hey, we're still that studio you can come to and make great movies. We still believe in directors who are successful. So, that was just an awesome bit of news to get. And it just really kind of set everyone at ease a little bit, at least for people who are only interested in the Matt Reeves of the Batman universe. That's definitely my focus, but I'm interested in all of it. So
I'm interested in all of it. I'll support all of it. But like, if the DC movie slate was the Batman 2 and nothing else, okay. Like, I'm not going to be one of these guys who's like, I need to see everything. I've got to see it all. Every character's got to have a show, a movie, a webtoon. Like, I'm not one of those guys, man. I'm sorry. I'm not sitting here. Like, I'm looking at the bookshelf and be like, you know what? What do I need here? Let me see. Oh, ambush bug. We need an ambush bug movie. Let's do that. Like, okay, all right, great.
I think it's more, at least from my point of view, it's more if you're announcing something, then I want to see it.
Well, that's a different story.
Right. Once it's put out there, yes, I want to see it.
But like, hey, look, and if you've been a Warner Brothers DC fan, remember that first slate.
No, yes. I mean, they have showed us that whatever they tell you might not happen. They definitely have. So,
and I to be honest, I feel like I think Hollywood is more run the way Warner Brothers has been doing things than the way that Marvel does things.
Well,
I think the internet's the biggest difference between then and now.
And also the difference is Warner Brothers is a massive studio with a bunch of IPs.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Studios is Marvel Studios under a massive IP like Disney.
Which people still don't understand. Like, what does Marvel Studios do? They literally just do one thing. They make Marvel content.
Yes.
They are so focused. Whereas now that you have, hopefully, Dan Lin and DC Studios, he can be solely focused on TV and film and that branch and not Warner Brothers in general. Warner Brothers was, again, Marvel Studios does one thing and people don't really understand that. And it drives me crazy because there's people who have podcasts who don't seem to understand that.
Well, and the whole genesis of how it happened is different too, right? Like Warner Brothers, DC has been a part of Warner Brothers for a long time, whereas Marvel Studios was its own thing, and then Disney came in.
And so, kind of go back to the Cape Crusader, like no one freaked out when Marvel licensed Blade to New Line, which is essentially a branch of Warner Brothers, because they went broke in '96 and needed money, so they started licensing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Hulk. So like, relax, everyone needs to come up. Marvel literally did this like 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, that's exactly
not even probably it's farther than that. Jesus, it's more than 20,
25, 30.
Yeah. Think about it. They licensed all these characters out. Ghost Rider, everything before Iron Man has been licensed.
Yep.
It's okay.
Iron Man was, they all were.
And you still got everything you wanted. Relax. It's a transition. I know people are upset and they're emotional and they tweet stupid stuff, but this is a transition period. And things will be better real soon.
It's just the missteps. That's why people tend to freak out more. Like if I hear something in Marvel is being delayed or pushed back, I'm like, yeah, but I know it's still coming, right? Like, that's going to happen. Whereas if DC, you just don't know. And I think that's like the nervousness that people
in
get.
A weird way, like you kind of have this like relationship with Feige. He's been doing this for a specific way for so long. You know what you expect from him. We're on our third DC regime. Like it's like there's no consistency there.
It's been sold 3 times in the last 4 years or last 5 years or something like that.
There's always somebody who comes around who thinks they can fix Warner Brothers. You ever notice that? Like Time Warner, AOL, who else? AT&T. Now is that like someone's always like, you know what?
Yeah, Discovery.
I think I could do something with Warner Brothers.
I mean, it's crazy to even think about this, but as we start to get more and more information on just how in bad a shape Warner Brothers was under Kalar and AT&T, someone had to come in and save it.
And to be honest, and that's all because of HBO Max.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all. AT&T was horrible for Warner Brothers.
I love HBO Max. I do. It's one of my favorite streaming services. I love HBO.
Surpassed Netflix for me at this point.
Yeah. I love the DC content. I love obviously the HBO shows. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. So House of the Dragon started this past week. It was fantastic. I loved the pilot. Mm-hmm. So like I'm getting there's other shows on HBO that I've always loved and I can watch. Like you mentioned The Sopranos. You can go back and watch it. Oz, all these shows. So I love HBO Max. But it was a bad decision, like I said before, to do the day and date stuff, to try and pub a subscription service that doesn't have an immediate turnover where you have to stick
and don't forget this either. We're talking about a streaming service that's probably not going to exist in a year or two.
It's not going to exist as HBO Max. It's going to be whatever they call it. Max
it'll
Discovery.
Be absorbed into something.
Yeah.
HBO Max at this point is essentially DC Universe.
Well, yeah.
It's going to get absorbed. Some things will come back, some things won't, and then you'll deal with it afterwards. But
it appears they're going to do. You can have all the HBO stuff, and then whatever on Discovery under the one umbrella. And then the original programming, as we've heard, it seems to be the things that's going to kind of go by the wayside. I mean, we still haven't heard about what's going to happen with Doom Patrol, with Titans. We don't know any of these things yet. So there's still a lot of questions to be answered. It's good that we haven't heard anything yet because I like those shows. So I'm glad that
the last thing I heard wasn't positive is that they've reached end of life.
Yeah. So we'll see, but it's still gonna be an interesting thing we have to keep our eye on and see how things go forward with this merger. Or not really merger, it's more of an acquisition. It's not really a merger. And
it's a takeover.
How it's going to impact the things that we care about. So
because it's like, when are we really going to see the effects of this?
Yeah,
like, story wise, you're still at some point you're going to have to introduce a new Batman to fit into this world, because they clearly want this Justice League Unlimited mass universe thing, right? You're going to have to I imagine some people will have to be like soft rebooted into it. Maybe they let their franchises die out before they they recast certain roles. Like maybe after, because you've heard Wonder Woman 3's Gal's last movie, we've heard that. Maybe Jason's done after 2 because we know Juan's done after 2. So you don't know what's going to go on. We don't know, if the characters
that would be such a hard one to recast.
What, Aquaman?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know. I don't think so, because I think if you go the traditional route, clearly this is different.
Well, I'm saying in the sense that he's such a massive star, and he's kind of made the character his own in a certain way, that if you're going to do a completely tonal shift away from it after just 2 films, I think that might be tough for people to unless you're counting Justice League, which he was in as one of the films, then I guess you can say 3 films.
4.
BVS?
Well, there's 2 different versions of Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
They're 4 movies.
Sorry. I forgot. Because one of them I just don't even, whatever. I'm not going to.
I get you. I understand.
So, but yeah. So I think that might be a little bit difficult because, like I said, he has made Aquaman cool. Right?
Yeah, no, he did.
So I think
there's definitely a way they could make him look different than Momoa to kind of signal, okay, this is a different direction,
right?
As they've done with every Batman movie. Like, not every Batman movie aesthetically looks the same.
You're right.
Outside of probably the only 2 that actually look the same are probably Forever and Batman and Robin. Like, Returns and Batman 89 kind of look a little different, but
yes. And BVS looks different.
Well, even within the Nolan movies, like, you spend a lot of time in the Narrows and you go to the city aspect. And then at one point the city's totally cleaned up. You see the transition from basically like
not to rehash an old BVS argument, but when you watched the movie, did you ever know if you were in Gotham or Metropolis? Every time I watched that movie, I was never sure where I was when they were in a specific city.
I felt I felt like it was fine, because I felt like when they went to go see Lex, they're in Metropolis. Obviously the Daily Planet's in Metropolis. Bruce Wayne.
Visually, like when you looked at it, could you tell the difference?
The cities, I'm not really, but like I know when I'm with Lex at the top of Lex Tower, I'm in Metropolis.
Right.
I know when the bat signal's off in the distance, I know that's Gotham.
Right. That part is very much.
But like, I don't know the landmarks of these fake cities. It's not like I'm like, oh, there's the Sears Tower. I'm in Chicago. That's the Empire State Building. I must be in New York. We don't.
What I'm saying, like in Gotham, there could be like a Sionis Industries building, or you could have Wayne Tower, which we do kind of get in Metropolis. In the beginning, whatever building.
It doesn't say Wayne on it, though.
No, it doesn't. But I'm saying, like, that's what I mean. Like, it's very obviously, that's Metropolis because it's referencing Man of Steel, so that part. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. Something I thought of.
That's not something I thought of. I actually spent more time thinking of, like, how does Superman know that Bruce Wayne is Batman?
Yeah,
I spent a lot of time thinking about that. I try to watch the movie and try to figure out when he figured that part out. But
I think when he meets him at Lex's function, and then he's listening, like he's using his super hearing to hear
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when he kind of puts.
Yeah, that's when he put together.
Yeah, I think he has suspicions, but that kind of confirmed it for him, at least for me.
Okay.
But speaking of Lex, we've mentioned Lex. We know Jesse Eisenberg played him, and it's to me, I loved the portrayal.
I'm with you, Jolly Rancher and all, no problems here.
But it definitely has been one of the more controversial castings of a character. Like a lot of people don't like it, and
Jesse I remember they didn't like Ben Affleck as Batman too.
But Eisenberg was asked about would he ever do a comic book movie again, or could he play this character again? And he said he'd be shocked if he was ever in a DC movie again. But not that he wouldn't do it, just that because of the backlash he got obviously the movie not being so great, he'd be more surprised if that actually happened. So he talked about it specifically, and he said that he didn't grow up as a comic book fan. So for him, it wasn't playing this iconic character that he grew up watching or reading. It was just playing this character that Chris Terrio wrote for him, which is kind of an interesting thing, because most of the time when we hear these actors playing these roles, like, oh, I grew up reading, or I was a huge Batman fan, or I was a huge Superman. Like, he's honestly saying, look, I was not a comic book guy. So when you hear that and you read the rest of his comments, and he talks more about it, but do you think that is a better way to approach these things, as not having love for the character, just kind of approaching it as a role? Or do you think that
I'm sure there's guys who have taken roles in baseball movies who don't like baseball. Right. You're an actor, you're paid to act, and you read a script and you take it from there, and then it's up to the director to give you your motivations and try to figure out what you're going to do with the character and stuff. So it's a collaborative effort. But I had no problem with Eisenberg as Lex. I liked it. I think it's the most faithful adaptation of Lex Luthor we've ever seen on the big screen. I know people like Gene Hackman, but let's face it, Lex Luthor's not a real estate agent. Gene Hackman was just a carbon cop. Gene Hackman, what's his name? What's the crazy guy, the weirdo? What's his name? Usual Suspects.
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. He's a whack job. He basically just copied Hackman and kind of made him a little bit more menacing. John Cryer still probably the best Lex Luthor we've ever seen on television. So you small people could take that and shove it. So like, I don't know. I really dig. I really dug his Lex, and it's a bummer, but shout out to the guy who grew up a town over from me, Jesse Eisenberg in East Brunswick.
Well, I think I remember when it first happened, and I said I liked it. To a lot of people, they were like, "Oh, he's just doing like a weird off version of the Joker, or a weird version of the."
I couldn't stand these comparisons. I thought they were so stupid.
And I was like, "Well,
I was like, this is why I hate Twitter, because you guys are all morons."
Yeah, the neurotic part of it was a little different for me. That he played. He's very neurotic in this movie.
I loved it.
And some people kind of made the thing like, "Well, he's not playing Lex; he's playing Alexander." And
people just try to make excuses at that point.
Like there's another.
It's fine. People don't have to like it. That's cool, but don't come up with these stupid theories.
Yeah, I remember watching BVS the first time. That was one of the things watching the film where his performance stood out. That was one of the things that stood out for me in that movie.
I actually like the Jolly Rancher scene. I don't know why. It just proves to me that he's
weird.
He's crazy. Yeah, he's weird. Like that's it. Like this guy's. He may be a brilliant genius, but he's off.
Yep, socially awkward. Honestly, and the more I think about it, when I think about his portrayal, he's Mark Zuckerberg again. Like he's literally playing.
He's probably, if Mark Zuckerberg realized how evil he actually was, he'd be Lex Luthor.
Yes, like that to me is what he did in this film.
I don't think I've ever seen The Social Network. So
it's so good.
Everyone likes to talk about how great the Exiled is in that movie, Armie Hammer. So
they're all great. Andrew Garfield's in it.
Like Hammer, doesn't he play like two different guys?
Yes, he plays the Winklevoss twins. Yes.
Yeah. So it's tough. I don't want to watch movies about millionaires.
Dude, it changed.
I know.
Justin,
where's the movie about Tom? Where's Tom's movie?
Tom who?
From MySpace, damn it.
Yeah. Oh, poor Tom. He kind of.
Who's the guy who created LiveJournal? Where's his movie?
But,
where's my Jack Dorsey movie? No, where's my Elon Musk movie?
Dude, honestly, you should watch The Social Network just to see the reason why he started Facebook.
Just to hook up with girls?
Not only that, but to expose girls who shunned him. Like, it was crazy. The reason why you seriously watch it. It's a very good movie.
So let's get this straight. All these girls rejected this guy, and he basically became the richest man in the world.
Yes.
Well done. Thank you. You turned an angry virgin into a millionaire.
That's pretty much what happened. That's one of the main reasons why he started Facebook.
What's the name of that Jay-Z and R. Kelly song, The Power of the PUSS?
Yes. And that's funny. I was thinking about that song yesterday. Don't ask me why, but I was thinking about that song yesterday.
This is before we started knowing that R. Kelly used his penis as a fire hose.
And yeah, that he's talking all those songs that he made. He's talking about 12-year-old girls. Now
man.
Looking at that, yeah. But see, now we're going into a sad point. We don't want to be sad.
I'm not sad. I mean, last week you talked about Michael Jackson. He's no better. He's just not as guilty.
We don't go there.
Yeah. Hey, I can still say the guy's a talented musician. I love his music.
All right. Well, speaking of
sad, I want to be
locked
in a room with him.
Yeah. You would, well, if the rumors are true, which I don't think they
are. Room with me, I'm like 200 pounds overweight.
You would not be the one.
I'd be the safest man in Neverland.
Oh God. Okay, enough. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I don't believe the stories, so I don't want to talk about it.
Dude, I watched that HBO documentary. I almost cried.
I know what you watched. Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying, it was like, man, this is heavy.
Those guys also lied 50 times before, so
hey, I'm not saying I believe them 100%. I'm just saying that story's heavy.
Yes,
you know
it is. So another story that came out that's kind of heavy, not as heavy, but was still kind of heavy and a little shocking, was Jordan Elsis, who plays Jonathan Kent on Superman and Lois, apparently is leaving the show. In the beginning, there were a lot of rumors as to why, as always is the case, but he really says it's for mental health issues. His is his quote. He says, "It's been a tough few weeks, as you might imagine, with everything going on with the show. It's sad. It's a real shame. I know that I was pumped for season 3 for sure, but what are you going to do? Anyway, mental health is definitely 100% priority. It's pinnacle. It's got to take precedence, and mine has been the last couple of years. It's been rough." He also calls into question whether he's going to continue acting at all, which is kind of sad. I think of both of those two, I like him much more than
than
Jordan as an actor. So it's kind of sad. We haven't heard word on recasting yet, so I don't know who's going.
Sounds like Jordan's going to go get a scholarship and play football across the country. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, not how the last season ended.
We'll
I think they're going to recast the role. I think they will.
That seems to be the plan. And look, I wish nothing but the best for this kid, but he's also not in a typical situation. Not many people can quit work and focus on their mental health. I'm sure he's been paid handsomely for his 2 seasons under Superman and Lois, which has given him the ability to take some time off and really find himself. So
sure,
this is the real exception to the rule. I'm glad he's able to do that. I'm glad his lifestyle has made him realize he needs help and that he's able to afford it and kind of focus on it. Because, if this was you and I, we'd still have to wake up every day and go to work. We can't just quit work because we're in a bad mental. If anything, it would probably cost us more because we'd have to go to therapy. So I hope he gets better. But it's kind of funny. I was like, man, actors just don't live in the regular world. Just don't.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure all of those things you said are true. Also, he's still kind of young. So I don't know what his parents do. Maybe they're able to help him out too. So he has that option as well. But it was sad news. Like I said, I prefer him in the role. I prefer him over the 2 brothers. I think he's a better actor. I think he's, I like his character a little more. So
I agree with you 100% on everything on that.
But it sucks because the show has been one of the shining lights in DC for a couple years now, and you get a main member of the cast leaving again. Whether they do what you said, whether he goes away for a while and the actor Jordan Elsis eventually comes back to play him in the future, that'd be fine.
I
But
don't think Jordan Ellis will come back. I just think I just don't know how long of a recast process. Like, do they just go straight to the backup from 3 years ago?
at the
You know,
person's available.
or do they just kind of write Jonathan out of the script for a little bit while they're searching? Like, you could do stuff story wise, right? That Jonathan could be doing something. I don't know. Maybe he's joining what's it called? One of those, you know, projects where they go around building houses for people down in New Orleans because of the hurricane stuff. Like, you know, like my buddy Joel did that. So
Habitat for Humanity.
yes, thank you for remembering that name. Yeah, like I could see Jordan doing something like that because remember he took the heat for his girlfriend. Like, it's not out of character for this guy to want to go out and help people who need.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The character, if he goes the route of the character, you're right. You could see it's something definitely like that. But I'm with you. I'm glad he's getting the help he needs. I hope it's nothing too serious. But apparently, obviously, it's serious enough where he can't work. He can't do. He's not going to be able to perform.
But you know, and also like the tolls of Hollywood, like it drove Freddie Prinze Jr. out of Hollywood too. So maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's not necessarily like mental health in terms of like we're thinking of it. Maybe it's just, man, this career is extremely stressful.
Yeah, it's very possible, and everyone's not cut out for it. That's
no, and I mean, if he found that out within 2 years of acting, then that's fine. Like, good for you, because then you're finding your place in the world, and that's part of your life's journey.
So good luck to him, and we'll keep you guys posted on if they recast. Obviously, we will let you guys know here who the new Jonathan is. So Pete, we'll know. As big of fans as you are of Batman, and we all are, we're both big Batman fans, Superman. Have you ever wanted to own, or thought what it would be like to own Batman or Superman?
Many a times I thought, what would it be like if I was Michael Uslan and I was able to own the film rights to Batman?
Well, if you wait a mere 12 years, you might be able to own Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman, because their rights apparently will enter public domain at that point.
I thought that's not what public domain is. I thought public domain meant that you don't have to pay the rights to like for these characters, like that Winnie the Pooh movie. It's not sanctioned by whoever actually created Winnie the Pooh or whatever, but because Winnie the Pooh now entered public domain, anyone can pick it up and do what they want with it. It's kind of like they said this a lot with Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Like, they didn't trademark it, so it went to public domain, and now anyone can use it.
Public domain, yes, I believe it does mean that, but I think it also implies that they're not going to be owned by DC anymore.
Or I don't know if it's DC or Warner Brothers.
So it says DC.
That's so interesting. I can't imagine them not like owning Batman or Superman, like or Wonder Woman or Green. I can't imagine them not owning Harold. Like, it's just. Can you imagine, like, I don't know, an unsanctioned Warner Brothers Batman film? Like, what the hell would that look like?
I know. So the quote this is what the quote says: Warner Brothers has a monopoly on making Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, but the clock is ticking. Beginning in 2034, DC's most prominent characters and some of the most well-recognized characters in the world will enter the public domain, at which point they could be up for grabs for companies outside DC and its parent use. See, that's what makes me think that they're up for sale. But I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about it. So I don't
either.
It could just be that they're up to be, like you said, to be used, and they're not under Warner Brothers umbrella. So,
but does that mean that happens? That article is weird because it's like 100 years after conception or creation, things can enter public domain. It's like, really? Like, anything just after 100 years enters public domain?
Well, it all works before 1978. That's the law.
Oh.
So anything before that, after 95 years, why they picked 95, I don't know. That's a very strange number, but that's what they picked. So anything 95 years after inception, they can enter public domain. So
I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know.
It's a lot of copyright and trademark law. I don't know how it'll work. These are two areas of law I don't know that much about. I know a little bit about.
I thought you were paralegal.
I was, but you're not a paralegal for every type of law. You focused on certain things. I did do a little copyright law when I worked for the Home Shopping Network, but it was nothing on this type of scale. So it's weird though, but Steamboat Willie, which is the first iteration of Mickey Mouse, is going to enter public domain in 2024. It's only 2 years from now. So obviously it's different than the Mickey Mouse we know now, the way he's drawn and everything, but it's going to be, that'll probably be like an interesting test case to see.
So I wonder when Spider-Man enters public domain.
So how was Spider-Man created? You know, off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I hate when you put me on the spot like Garrett.
That's when 95 years after that, he'll become public domain. He'll be enter the public domain.
That's so crazy to me. Can you imagine? Like Marvel fought so hard. Excuse me. To bring Spider-Man back, and he may not be there for the long haul.
Yeah.
Amazing. 1962, Amazing Fantasy.
Yeah.
So that's before 1978, obviously.
Yep.
So it's coming. it's coming for Spidey too. I thought he was created. Okay, wow. All right. Well,
so the quick definition: a copyright reflects the physical image, but a trademark has a public meaning and perception that goes beyond that. So it's conceptual. It's that the trademark covers brand identity. So, wow.
I don't know. Like I don't know what happens. Like, also, like, can anyone that means anyone can make a Batman movie then? If it's public domain? Can Disney?
But that's what I'm saying. This is where the copyright and trademark law comes into play, because I'm the guy Greener. His last name is Greener. He continues and explains that Superman has been associated with specific brand and storytelling for years, and something else could infringe on the public's mind with what they understand Superman to be. So now you're you're saying you're conceptually changing the character. And that apparently comes into play.
Because they brought up the fact that when he was created, he can only leap tall buildings and building single bound. Now he can fly, so they can do the original version. Like it's very tricky. To me, it's like, nah, I'll do the James Gunn Burn Bright. I'll just make my own character.
Brightburn, yeah.
Yeah, Brightburn.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I mean. It's going to be interesting to follow this story as it goes, and especially the Steamboat Willie angle, which is, since it's only 2 years away from us, to see what happens with Disney. These things always fascinate me, these types of stories, so I'll definitely keep an eye on it. But it's going to be interesting to watch how this unfolds, and how far it goes with regards to these characters. I mean, it would be crazy to think someone could come in and swoop in these characters and change them to a different, like if Marvel came in and said, hey, I'm going to buy them, like it'd be crazy to think.
Well, people have been asking about that. So some people, this might be right up their alley. This might be something they want. I don't know.
That's true.
That's a good point. Disney just buy DC so we can get our movies, please? I want my movies.
Well, it's kind of been, I mean, it's kind of been a little crazy. It's been kind of a light summer, for me, movie-wise. How about you? Have you gone to the movies?
Not really. To be honest, I consider this like the first summer back to reality.
Yeah, that's true.
This is really like the first year back since, we went through the pandemic, I think. So,
right.
I think people are just kind of like, oh, wow, we can do this again. I think next summer will be a more typical summer.
Right. Well, as we know, it is approaching end of summer. We're a couple weeks away from Labor Day, and so smooth sack summer is slowly coming to an end, guys. So if you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it's not too late to sweep your sack of those pesky pubes. As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh just in time for the fresh ball fall. The leader in below the waist grooming is here to make sure your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Wow. Start the new season the right way and join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Gotham at manscaped.com. So this includes the full performance package 4.0. You get the weed whacker, you get the nose trimmer. Pete and I talk about the cop preserver and crop reviver all the time.
Did you say the cock preserver?
I said cop by accident, but it was crop, my fault. Maybe cop preserver too. I don't know. But I didn't say what you thought, Pete. Where's your mind at?
Right between my legs.
This also includes the performance boxer briefs, the travel bag. Pete and I have told you about all of these products. If you've been
The
listening,
briefs are the best thing, guys. Like, honestly, I know they may be a little pricey, but I've never worn a more comfortable pair of underwear in my entire life.
They really are.
Insane.
They really are comfortable. They keep everything in its place. It's a very, very nice pair.
That material, I mean, it's like velour on my balls.
I've never had velour on my balls, but hey,
I've worn that. Back in you're full of it. You know, you wore that Puff Daddy outfit back in the day. Every once in a while, you rocked your old commando style. You had the powder blue velour. Don't act like you didn't.
Oh, dude, I love those. I did love those suits at one time, but
everybody did.
But I wore underwear, so I didn't.
Everyone goes commando at some point, and then you realize how nice velour feels, and you're like, "Oh, this is living."
All right, guys. Well, take Pete's word for that. I can't co-sign that one, but. They also include the Shears 2.0, which is a luxury nail grooming kit. So this includes stainless steel nail cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. So that's another added thing that they put into this package. So don't forget, you get 20% off and free shipping with the code Gotham at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code Gotham at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh, as we say. Sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall.
I like it.
I do too. I think it's fantastic.
I actually trimmed up yesterday. I did a little snip with my razor in the shower.
Okay, that's
a little lawnmower 4.0.
And was everything good? Everything
smooth as a baby's bottom.
There you go. See, guys. So we're giving you firsthand testimonials of how good these products are.
Testimonials.
Yes.
Testimonials. When we do this, they're testimonials.
I guess they would be testimonials for this one. So don't forget, guys.
No one cares more about your nuts than Eric and I.
Yeah, we really, as men, we understand the problem, and we're trying to help y'all out. So 20% off, free shipping, manscaped.com with code Gotham. Something else is coming this fall, and it's ending, actually, this fall. We're getting the final installment, we think, because we've heard this before, of Jamie Lee Curtis's turn as Laurie Strode, and Halloween Ends obviously is coming out, and they're going to stick with the day and date release that they did.
Take that, Eric.
Yes, I know. Which they also did with Halloween Kills last October. They're sticking with the day and date for Halloween Ends. So it's going to be appearing on Peacock and in the movie theater on October 14th, 1 month before my birthday. Thank you very much. So
they know how much you love the last one.
Yeah. Halloween, they put out a little Halloween for this little announcement. Jamie Lee Curtis did this little video, and she got kind of emotional at the end of it. But the funny thing is like in the back behind a tree, you saw Michael Myers' head stick out every once in a while. It was kind of funny.
It's kind of like how I see Leia's head stick out every once in a while.
Right? Yeah. So he did that. He had that going on. It was a cute little thing, but yeah, guys. So we're getting another day and date for this. And
will this be the last day and date movie ever? It's got to be, right?
Oh, I don't know. It's
got to
like
be
a major franchise.
Yeah.
Possibly.
When they announced this, I was stunned. I thought we were done with day and date. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Peacock is struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it says it's pure experimentation and based on Peacock's need for more subscriptions. So
there's a good chance that I have a Halloween marathon on Halloween and just watch them all, to be honest.
Well, we will definitely do our yearly Halloween show.
We will, but do you want to talk about it now? We already have our guests lined up. We know the topic. You want to just tease it a little bit?
Sure. He wanted to be on last year, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to have Ryan Lauer on Straight Outta Gotham, and we're going to discuss the Scream series.
Yes.
So I believe that'll be the 5 films to date, right? 6 doesn't come out before Halloween.
No, it does not.
Okay, so we're good. It's tough to keep track of everything in fandom these days.
They did a show though, didn't they? Wasn't there a TV show?
They did 3 seasons on MTV.
Yeah, that's what
which is actually very good.
I never watched it, so
I'll tell you what, much better than Batwoman. Okay,
Okay,
you heard that
that's high
one?
praise.
I
That's high
think
praise.
you'll really enjoy it. It's not a movie. The mask is different for copyright reasons, but
Mhm.
I think it works effectively. It's essentially a whole new universe. It has nothing to do with Sidney
Oh, okay.
Prescott or whatnot. It's its own thing. But I believe they used Woodsboro. But I thought they were very creative. I haven't seen season 3. I really dug the first 2 seasons. It stopped after 3, I believe.
All right.
But next to Daria, might be my favorite MTV show of all time.
Wow. Okay, that says a lot because MTV's had, although some of their programming now is just freaking ridiculous.
They haven't had good programming in like 30.
They've had they have had good shows. Teen Wolf, I remember, was a show that people loved. My So-Called Life was another one way back when.
Jersey Shore season 1.
So, that show's just ridiculous.
It was amazing for the first season.
It was. I'm not gonna lie, I did watch the first season, just to see what all the fuss was about, and it was hysterical. So, but now they're like 50 with kids, and
it's not entertaining. Yeah, it's not entertaining.
They're still doing the show. I don't understand.
You're the people that make fun of at the grocery store. Don't do that.
Yeah. So,
but back to Halloween. I'm so excited for this. I'm trying to stay dark. I saw the trailers. I really loved Halloween Kills. Eric despised it because that's Eric. He's the cinephile of the two.
It didn't make any sense.
You don't have to explain it to me. I don't care.
we already did last year on the show when we talked about it.
I know. It was probably our most passionate show. It's probably one of the few shows we actually argued on.
Oh God!
But I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm kind of staying in the dark. I've seen everything I need to see. Just get me to the movie theater. Get me to October. There's a good chance I watch this the October 13th into the 14th. Just I come home from work, I put it on because I work the night shift. So I'll end up watching it on Halloween before I go to bed. On Peacock now. So I'm just pumped. I can't wait. I'm anxious to see what they do, how they end this. Is it a true ending? A lot of questions. It's a horror movie. No one ever stays dead in horror. And now we know because of Halloween that there are timelines galore. So
yes, I this one I think I want to see in the movie theater. I like seeing most movies in the movie theater, but this one specifically because it's technically supposed to be the end of this, and I have a feeling it might do very well because people are coming to see it for the last time. Especially
I'm also interested to see how they deal with going from 2 movies that are essentially one day to a time gap. How they went out of their way to include COVID into the storyline. So, which I don't know if I'm really ready for.
Yeah, I know.
I'm done with COVID, man. I don't want to think about it anymore. I'm sorry. I'm on the monkeypox now.
COVID's not done with us, but thankfully now we have ways to treat it and stuff. So that's always a plus. But yeah, so guys, day and date. If you don't want to go to the movies like me, you want to sit at home like Pete and watch, you have your option. But it is going to be, if this truly is the last one, I think it's going to be.
I think this is the last one for now. There's no way this is the last Halloween movie.
That's true. You're probably right about that. So, all right. I think. Oh no, let's talk about one more thing. Sticking with the creepy Halloween vibe, there was a trailer for Wednesday, which is Wednesday Addams, obviously, which is on Netflix. The Tim Burton. It's a Tim Burton vehicle, and the trailer is creepy. Like,
as it should be.
Yeah, like it was very true to the character, though.
It felt typical Addams Family. I was getting, just vibes of the first Addams Family movie. Catherine Zeta-Jones looked amazing. I believe that's her as Morticia. And then, what was his name? Is it Juan Guzman? Is that the actor? Or is that a baseball player? I think that's a baseball player.
Hold on. I know his name and I'm forgetting it now.
People were complaining about him. And I was like, and then then other people were like, oh no, but originally the character kind of looked, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like he does look like that. Like, I'm used to thinking of
Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman. Yeah. Who's Juan Guzman? He played
baseball player. You're right. Yes.
Yeah. So Luis Guzman, who's a fantastic character actor. I think he'll nail it. I have no problem with how he looks as Gomez. I think his wig is horrible though. That's my only nitpick, but I can totally get past that. Yeah, the kid who looked like Pugsley was a little bit. He wasn't as pudgy as I wanted. I'm thinking more Addams Family movie, but I don't know. What's her name? Ortega from Scream. I'm totally think this chick's gonna kill it.
Yeah,
I'm ready
man.
for her to, and she's getting Christina Ricci's praise, and I believe Ricci's going to make a cameo in this
Yes.
as well. So it seems to be all good vibes and everything popping up. And I love the Addams family because they're just, they just don't fit in. They're just so much fun. Cousin It's great. I love Thing. I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. Tim Burton, he's perfectly quirky and crazy enough for this.
Yes.
So I think this is right in his wheelhouse. Nothing but great things to say. I cannot wait to see this show.
After Dumbo, that Tim Burton's Dumbo, which was so bad.
Oh, I didn't even see it. I wanted to. It had Batman, the Penguin, and Burton together.
I know. I've been waiting though for something Tim Burton to come out where I really think it's perfectly him. This is it. This is going to be. I think this is going to be fantastic. I definitely love the trailer. It kind of has the humor, the weird humor that the original show had. Also a little bit more serious though. Kind of little bit more graphic as to what we've known Burton for.
Ortega's got that great deadpan face.
She's fantastic. Like I'm
like no emotions.
So good. It. Yeah. And it's, we have that connection now with Scream. We just brought up Scream. Here we have her playing Wednesday. So yeah, I'm down for this. I wasn't really sure, but now I'm definitely down for this. So yeah, I can't wait. It's coming, guys.
I was never. Let me see how I want to word it. Tim Burton's kind of been like an Adam Sandler run where I feel like he's just been making movies to get checks, which is fine. That's totally your right. As a 60-year-old director, like if you need to pay for the new bathroom refurbishments to your house, by all means take a gig and get that paid for. But I've been waiting, like you said, for something that just feels very Burton-y, and this seems to be the perfect thing. And for I could just see his concept art popping off the page, and I because I've got some for Batman Returns here, ironically enough, next to me, and I'm so excited for this. I think the cast, as soon as they announced everyone involved, I was so hyped. I mean, these guys, this is a great cast of characters. They have surrounded this young actress with a wonderful group of people who can, give her free reign, but reel her in, keep her, like it's like it for a young actor to learn from these people. That's the best thing for her. She's going to come out of this with so much knowledge, and it's only going to help her career. And like I said, like watching her drop those piranhas in that pool, that's the most Wednesday Addams thing I've ever seen in my life. I haven't seen anything that crazy since Christina Ricci started lighting everybody on fire.
And then she kills the spider with her, just smacks it.
No, it was great. I love it. I'm all for it. I can't wait.
Yes, I agree. I mean, it's just all the usual characters. It's Goen Millar, created it. Elfman's doing the music. Like, it's everything you've got that you love about this kind of material. I think it's going to be great. So guys, look out for it. It's due to come out. It says fourth quarter of 2022 right now. I'm assuming it's going to be around Halloween. That's my assumption, but I don't know for certain. So yeah. So that's everything. That's our show for today, guys.
That's it. That's the recap around DC.
That's
news.
What's going on. Yeah, this was a very DC heavy show.
That's kind of the point of the show.
But this normally, like, we go talk about other.
I've actually loved all this DC drama. It really gives. That's all I want to talk about.
This has been a very, very heavy DC. We didn't talk one Marvel thing the entire show, so. We were gonna discuss Ms. Marvel. We'll do that next time. We'll talk about Ms. Marvel next time.
Oh, before we go, what's his name? Director of Star Trek. He's out of Star Trek. He's directing Fantastic Four. So there's your Marvel news.
Shackman?
Yeah.
Matt Shackman, right?
He dumped Star Trek for Fantastic Four.
So there you go. So there's a little bit of.
There's your Marvel news.
We don't have any casting news. Oh, we don't have any Madam Web stuff. Kind of upsetting.
We haven't had Madam Web stuff in a while. Hopefully that means that they've gotten all their cast and they've been filming. So,
but we're going to mention Madam Web every episode anyway, just so, like I said, guys, get in touch with the Marvel people and Sony and get Pete and I at the premiere. That's going to be we're going to start a hashtag campaign. We want to go to the premiere. Yeah. That would be fun.
That'd be fun. I want a picture with Mike Epps.
Oh, definitely. I want a picture with Dakota Johnson and
Kristen Stewart will be there. Nico's going to get so jealous.
All of them. That's it. I want a picture with all of them so we could just send it to the people who love these people and be like, ha, we're here. You're not. Brag a little bit.
Eric is cold.
That'd be fun.
It's not as cold as that time you ran over that 9-year-old to win that firefly catching contest, though.
What?
You bodied that kid. I remember.
Dude, I totally didn't know where you're going with that. Thank you for clearing up. Yes, that's true. I didn't give a crap. I was like Peyton Manning in the SNL skit where he's throwing the football 100 miles per hour at these 5-year-old kids. They can't catch the ball. That was me. Hey, all I do is
if
win.
you want someone to play catch with your ball, ask your father. Don't ask Eric.
DJ Khaled, all I do is win. Pete's twin, actually, too, as well. He kind of.
I do not think I look like DJ Khaled. I'm not that tan.
Oh God, no! But the beard, the head, the hair. Oh, that's you. You're totally him. Totally.
I wish I had that money. I wish someone would pay me a stupid amount of money for all the dumb things that I say.
Well, he also creates music.
Does he?
So there's that. Yeah, he's a music producer.
I thought he's just the guy who goes, "We the baddest."
The whole DJ part got lost on you?
I didn't think he was an actual DJ.
Of course he is.
Really? I've never seen him DJ once. He's just always in the background of the track. We the baddest.
Well, hold on. DJ nowadays, ever since
iPod. Yeah, it means iPod.
This is news, but ever since Funkmaster Flex started doing DJ mixtapes and selling them, like that kind of changed the game because he did it, and then DJ Clue did it, and then now we had DJs creating music. Like even in EDM, like you have Zed, you have Steve Aoki, you have guys like that who have released albums. So DJ has kind of changed from the traditional way we think of it as a guy sitting up there spinning music. They've become producers now, and that's what he is. Music producer.
I like Funk Flex. I listen to Flex every Saturday.
So
every Friday night.
It's weird. I was watching Fresh Prince yesterday. And he was in it. He was
Flex?
Yes. I totally forgot he was on it, but he was on it. So
I'm gonna miss DJ K Slay. He's not around anymore. He passed away.
I know.
It's sad. The Drama King is in the building.
The Drama King, yeah.
The Drama King is in the building.
Did you know DJ Envy?
And yeah, I remember DJ Envy.
Yeah, he used to be a friend of mine way back
DJ
when.
Green Lantern, all those guys.
Yep. And
DJ K Slay, aka Pimp Slap, your favorite DJ.
All right, Pete. Tell them where they can find you.
You can follow me. Rewind. You can follow me on social media. Twitter, Instagram, and of course, Zack Snyder's favorite platform, Vero, at Pete Illustrated. You can follow podcast number 1, the podcast you are listening to right now, Straight Outta Gotham, at straight_O_G on both Instagram and Twitter. Check out our Facebook fan page and our Facebook group. A lot of great discourse there. Podcast number 2, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast that I co-host with Chicago's finest, the kings of the Wiener Circle. That is Nicholas and Nico Caruso. You can follow that at Italians for Spidey on Twitter and wherever you get your podcast feed. At Team Yellow Oval, Batgirl's canceled, but The Flash is not. So you got that. So the Oval's coming back, at least in some form. It's all over print. So buy your comic books and check out your Oval in print. BatmanOnFilm.com reviews, BatmanOnFilm.com YouTube. I got videos of toy reviews, interviews, all that kind of stuff. Lots of Oswald stuff because of the Batman. Michael Uslan, Tara Strong, all your favorite heavy hitters. You want to hear those guys, check that out on Batman on Film YouTube. Got lots of articles and written stuff on BatmanOnFilm.com, so check that out. That's where I like to call my home. And Cole, it's up to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to get a little creative with this one. If you want to find me, it's at finally33. If you want to find we, it's at straight_O_G. So there you go.
Wow, you just dropped bars.
I got bars for days.
We know, we heard the song.
But yeah, guys, don't forget also to check us out on Facebook, our group and our page. I love the group. I want to interact with you guys. That's the best place to do it in a more controlled setting where you're not going to have Twitter people jumping in who we don't even know. That's always possible.
We like to think of our Facebook group as a safe haven away from the morons.
Yeah, so we like that's a safe space. You know, it's an important thing now to have safe spaces. That is a safe space. We like to interact with everybody there. Also, check out if you're fans of the New York Knicks, check out my Knicks podcast. Is at All Nicked Up, at all_Nicked_up. Where I can't talk. We're on Spotify, just like Straight Outta Gotham. Everywhere you can find Straight Outta Gotham, you can find All Nicked Up all over the place. Check me out over there. We will be doing a show probably next week sometime, just to go through the summer, what happened this summer, and to preview the season of the New York Knicks. Sometimes we talk about other teams too, but it's really a Knicks focused pod.
You gonna have me on for the Pacers podcast?
I'd love to get people from other teams on and just to discuss, possibilities for the season. If you want to do that, we can make that happen.
I'd love to get on there and talk some trash to some Knicks fans.
We can definitely do that.
My buddy Alex Golden, who I connect with on Pacers Twitter, he's a writer. If you want to get him on, I can reach out to him as well.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted something the other day about the Reggie Miller 8 points in.
I saw that you got the year wrong, so I let it fly.
I did. I got the year wrong.
I saw that. I was like, he's trying to bait me, and he can't even figure out how to insult me properly, so I just let it slide.
I wasn't trying to bait you, but someone already did reach out to me, be like, "Oh, you messed it up. That was the year before."
It's not like they don't have the year on the court.
Yeah, I know. It's my fault. I totally spazzed.
But like, if we want, we can. I mean, I could talk trash on the Knicks all day. It's fine.
But you have no reason to. You did beat us once.
I mean, it's fine. You just worship every other player except for the ones that wear your own jerseys.
And the team that should have beat us, the Knicks beat them. So
I don't know of any other team that has players that defeated them with memorial plaques in the building as you walk in. It's the first I've ever noticed.
Oh, why? Jordan?
Jordan Bird. Everyone who's ever like embarrassed the Knicks has some sort of commemorative plaque at Madison Square Garden because they haven't had a good player since Ewing.
Madison Square Garden is seen as bigger than that, though. I think that's why. The arena is seen as a bigger event than just the teams that play there.
That's you go.
Why I think they do that. You're right. I mean, it's the world. It says the world's most famous arena, right? So
you don't have to tell me. Cut me my checks.
So there you go. So sorry, guys, we got a little sidetracked, but that's where you can find me.
I hate them.
So you can find me. Also, you guys check Batman on Film for any content I've done regarding Titans reviews, interviews with some celebrities. We
got to get Eric back on the wagon. We got to get Eric back on the review wagon.
Check me out,
especially if Titans is going to get canceled.
Well, it's not going to get canceled before this season. This season is coming. So
who knows? That's what they said about Batgirl.
That's fair. Fair point. That is fair. Oh, don't be sad. I at least want to get one more season out of the show.
You can review anything.
So, nah. No.
There's stuff you can review. There's other stuff you can review.
Well, there's always stuff I can review. It's just, do I want to do it? That's the thing. So,
can we get somebody? Can you get this lazy man some Red Bull, please?
Oh boy!
Who knew that Eric watching TV could be such a chore?
I still watching is not the problem. It's just, do I want to write about what I watched after the fact? You don't
even need to write anymore. I bet you could talk your review into your phone and it'll write it.
Like
for
I
you.
Could do a review on House of the Dragon. I love that.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you do it?
Because
lazy.
I don't have desire to do it.
That's laziness.
I just need the desire.
Rolling Stone catches. Was it Rolling Stone catches no moss? And right now you're covered in moss, Santana. Let's get running down the yard lines here.
All right, it's time to go. We're going on a totally different topic.
How the Jets doing? Important. All right.
I'll let you know.
Who's your quarterback?
I'll let you know when the season.
Is the week one quarterback really going to be Joe Flacco?
Well, yeah, if Wilson's not healthy.
He's not healthy. It's not a career-ending injury, obviously, but is he going to miss significant time?
Not season-ending either. No, it wasn't as bad as they first thought. So,
just a couple weeks.
That's what they're saying. Probably a couple weeks.
A couple weeks in the NFL could mean the end of your season.
We'll see. Oh. I mean, the Jets have a tough schedule anyway this year, so I don't have high expectations to begin with. So
you're the only one. I feel like everyone on the radio is pretty high on the Jets.
They added a lot of talent, so that's fun. They have a lot.
I actually can't remember a time listening to the radio where the Jets were so highly regarded over the Giants. Like I feel like no one's confident in the Giants this year.
When Rex was here, they were. Definitely they were.
Was it Rex?
When Rex was here, yeah.
I'll give you that, yeah. But were the Giants good then? Were they not good? I don't remember.
No, they were. They won the Super Bowl, and then the next 2 years, the Jets went to the championship game, AFC championship game both years. The year after the Giants won their last Super Bowl. So,
yeah, but the Giants, I feel like they're really bad.
Oh, they are right now, yeah.
I don't think I feel like they haven't been this bad since Dave Brown.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, they're definitely not good. They have cap problems too, so they're in trouble. I think they're in trouble, but they have some talented guys. We'll see what happens. Football's weird.
Are you excited for football season?
I'm always excited for football season.
It's just weird because, like, I don't know, as a Jet fan, like, I don't know, like, as a Yankee fan, like, yeah, I'm excited for the season because I always know the Yankees are competitive, even it's like horrible as like a 100-win Yankee team can possibly be. But like as a Jet fan, like I know going into a season, like no one like outside of Ira from Staten Island, who is positive about the Jets going into opening week every year.
I mean, just like any fan base, you have your, I want to say the Homer fans who just are going to think the team is good no matter what level.
I've never heard of a Homer Jet fan.
Oh, there's plenty of them. You're not
I've
looking
heard of
for
delusional Jet fans, but never.
There's plenty of them. Like you mentioned, Ira. He's probably the most known one. But
yeah,
I've learned with this team to be just, when I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic. Just, there's a lot of stuff. Yes, they've improved their talent level. They have much better players than they had last year. I'm happy about that. But we have to see it work. This is only a second year. Coach in his second year.
Do you feel the same way about the Isles that you do about the Jets?
No, I don't. Season? No, I don't, because I believe last year, because of everything that happened, it was just a blip on the radar for them.
But they fired Trotz.
Yeah, but I'm fine with that.
Really?
I like Trotz. He's a great coach. I think he's too married to his system, and I think the Islanders' best players now are more offensive minded. So I'm hoping that Lambert opens things up and lets them skate more and try and score more goals, because they have a great goalie. Sorokin's great. So I'm just more concerned about how it's going to work.
He's not Shesterkin.
Oh God, please don't bring up Shesterkin.
Shesterkin.
They're actually best friends, though. I heard.
Are they really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. So
that's funny.
But sorry, guys, that we went on this.
I wonder if they know Hezbollah.
They probably do.
I bet you they do.
Goalies in Russia are like the top pinnacle of sports. Like if you think about all the good,
I think Ovechkin right now is probably the top Russian athlete.
Yeah,
right?
Probably still. But you think about all their best players outside of him. Vasilevsky's a goalie. Sorokin's a goalie. Shesterkin's a goalie. Like a lot of their best guys are goalies. So
wasn't Fedorov Russian?
Yeah, but dude, that was way back.
Oh, you're just talking about now. Okay. I thought you were
I meant right now. Yes. Okay. This moment right now. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. But yeah, maybe they do know Hezbollah. That'd be kind of funny if they did.
I would.
All right, let's shut this one down.
Man. Can you imagine Hezbollah on the island? He'd own that place.
We're losing a lot of our fans now because they probably don't want to hear us talk sports. So let's shut this one down. Anything else you want to add before we go?
Uxus, Galactus, Hezbollah.
All right.
Toby. That's all right, guys. Cover everything.
All right. So for Peter Rivera, I'm Eric Holzman. You are listening to Straight Outta Gotham, and we'll see you next time.
Booyah!